Things kick off with the group still on Ember Island, staying in Zuko's family's old vacation house, enjoying a day at the beach when Zuko decides to attack Aang. Boy, old habits, huh? We tried to get him on the Kill the Avatar patch, and all those things never work out. He's doing this because the comet is 3 days away, so Aang is going to need to get his crap together if he's going to be ready by then. Except, nobody bothered to tell Zuko that they decided that there was just no way Aang was going to be ready by then, so they'll just wait until after the comet has come and gone. Well, that was a decision made without all the facts. That meeting that Zuko attended before he switched sides, he was asked to offer his view of the Earth Kingdom people, and he said that they'll resist the Fire Nation so long as they have hope. So Azula, to prove how way totally not crazy she is, suggests burning the entire kingdom to the ground.
When the comet last came, my grandfather, Fire Lord Sozin, used it to wipe out the air nomads. Now, I will use its power to end the Earth Kingdom. Permanently.
So, you spend 100 years conquering the Earth Kingdom, and now that you have it, you're just going to burn the whole damn thing. You are the worst person to get a gift for, you know that? So it's back to beat him before he cleanses the world in a rain of heavenly fire and mad cackling, despite Aang's uncertainty at his ability, and more importantly to him, that unlike during the invasion when he could catch the Fire Lord helpless, he's going to have to battle him, probably to the death. And Aang doesn't want to kill anybody, except possibly the guy who wrote that play. He admits that the world would be better off without the Fire Lord, but everything he believes in says he should find some other way to do it. But it seems like there is no other way. During the night he hears some chanting coming from a nearby island, so he swims out there. Only the next morning there is no island for the others to see. So they turn to Zuko to find him, figuring that he was the one most experienced in hunting down Aang. So he pulls out his ace in the hole. June. Sweet, succulent June. Meanwhile, Fire Lord Ozai has announced that they're going to have a reorg, keep their company lean and fit during these tough economic times. Azula will become the Fire Lord now, while he will take on a new title to reflect his role as ruler of the world, the Phoenix King. Not to be confused with the Phoenix Kings, the winningest high school basketball team in Arizona. We get into episode 2, and we'll see why it's easy for them to bring back June in a moment. They give her Aang's stuff so that her big whatever can sniff him out. But the only problem is Aang doesn't seem to exist anymore, and tracking him into Limbo is pretty much impossible, so that ends that. But if they don't have the Avatar, they could at least try to get some help, Uncle Iroh, and he most certainly wouldn't be in Limbo, although he might be in a Limbo contest. He does love a good bit of Jamaican fun. Aang's still on that island, even though it's gone, and has something weird about it. He decides to talk to some of the past Avatars to try to get some guidance. Ruko says that his failure was that he wasn't decisive when dealing with Sozin, and look what happened there. So he needs to make sure whatever he does, he is decisive with it. He next summons Kyoshi. She's also voiced by Jennifer Hale, hence why it was easy to bring June back in the same episode as her. She points out how she stopped Chin, and in so doing, brought about an era of peace.
But you didn't really kill Chin. Technically, he fell to his own doom because he was too stubborn to get out of the way.
Personally, I don't really see the difference. But I assure you, I would have done whatever it took to stop Chin.
Got a little bit of Shiva Shepherd in her too. Her advice, that justice is necessary for peace, isn't quite what Aang wants to hear. Before that is Karuk of the Water Tribe, who said that Ko, that spirit centipede face stealer thing, took his love's face, which he blames on his lack of involvement in the affairs of the world. His advice is to be active in shaping things. But none of these are the answers that Aang wants. So he summons the next, another air nomad, so that she can validate his decision. But Yen Chen, the next Avatar, doesn't. Being the Avatar means that his own needs have to come second to the needs of the world. Sorry, Aang, but that's 4 out of 4 Avatars that agree that the path forward is a dead Ozai. They camp at the walls of Ba Sing Se, but soon run into a collection of old friends. Pakku, the waterbending master from the north, who married Gran since then. Zhong the firebending master's there too, as is Sokka's sword master, and even King Bumi. He freed himself from, and all of Omashu for that matter, during the eclipse. They're all members of the White Lotus, summoned here by a Grand Master, yes, Iroh.
I know you must have mixed feelings about seeing me. But I want you to know, I am so sorry, Uncle. I am so sorry and ashamed of what I did. I don't know how I can ever make it up to you, but
After the justifiably teary reunion, Zuko asks him to battle Ozai, but Iroh says that even if he could defeat him, which he's unsure of, it wouldn't really solve anything. The only way to bring back peace is for the Avatar to do it, so they must all follow their own path, play their own part. Zuko and Katara will topple Azula and have Zuko take on the role of Fire Lord. Toph, Sokka, and Suki will then attack the airship fleet, and Iroh and the White Lotus will fulfill his role that he always knew he had, but had misinterpreted. He will conquer Ba Sing Se, but not for the Fire Nation. He'll do it to free it from the Fire Nation. And Aang? He discovers that the island is moving because it isn't an island. It's a creature mentioned and illustrated several times but not seen until now, the lion turtle, which leads us into part 3. As for Azula, everything's perfect. She's defeated Zuko, conquered Ba Sing Se, plotted the downfall of the Earth Kingdom for her father, and now is ascending to be Fire Lord. Nothing can stop her now. Nothing, except possibly tiny, tiny germs. They're so cunning. The betrayal by Mai and Ty Lee has wedged open her crazy into naked paranoia, banishing her servants for the tiniest things, even the Dai Li, reasoning that if they betrayed Long Feng to serve her, they are untrustworthy. Azula saw other people as game pieces to be manipulated. Hell, when she was talking to the aforementioned Long Feng, he said, "You've beaten me at my own game." And she said, "Don't flatter yourself. You were never a player." The truth of the matter is, there are no other players. There's Azula, and the rest of the world is her game board. And the problem with it then is that when those two refused to follow her anymore, she was no longer in control. Azula's madness that I refer to is an obsession with her own greatness, and she's certainly highly skilled and very intelligent. I'm not taking that away from her. But this has led to an ego that is swollen beyond all sanity. So seeing that she no longer possesses the degree of control over the world that she thought leaves her without a foundation on which to stand. Zuko was right. His weakness was ultimately the source of his strength. It taught him to harden his resolve, every inch of progress earned with sweat and struggle. But while Azula certainly practiced her skills, everything came easy to her. Her talents were so great that all it takes is a minor failure, like one hair out of place, to make her lose it. And something as serious as a double betrayal by her most trusted allies, that is not a minor failure. She's so unaccustomed to it that she can't face it, and yet this is just an exaggeration of her pre-existing problems, because as we'll see, no matter how crazy she gets, her abilities never really diminish. As paradoxical as it is, she is in balance even within her imbalances. Meanwhile, Toph, Suki, and Sokka get onto one of the airships and take over the bridge, but getting the rest of them off is going to take some clever planning.
Attention, crew. This is your captain speaking. Everyone please report to the bomb bay immediately for hot cakes and sweet cream. We have a very special birthday to celebrate.
Yeah, you know, we may be an evil empire and all that, but we haven't lost the common touch.
I can't believe the captain remembered my birthday. He really does care.
I will admit, that is my favorite joke in the entire series. But the comet has arrived, and while it helps Iroh and Zhang Zhang in their attack on Ba Sing Se, it also empowers the other firebenders and permits Ozai to, well, burn a path of utter destruction across the Earth Kingdom. But Aang has arrived and is ready to face him, and Zuko arrives in the Fire Nation to confront Azula in a one-on-one battle, and Sokka, Suki, and Toph are attacking their air fleet with their stolen ship, and this would all be easier if I could put together some kind of montage, but I just can't find anything arousing enough to really convey the... Iroh? That is just what I needed. And while things do take a momentary turn for the bad, like Azula tries to kill Katara so that Zuko has to partially take the hit in order to save her, and Aang being overwhelmed by the raw power the Fire Lord now commands, this is usually the time for the villains to be careful. In this case, it's accidentally knocking Aang's chakra back open, allowing him to enter the Avatar state and kick the crap out of him. Now, to be fair, Aang had a chance before of winning, but refused because it would have killed the Fire Lord. So his being the underdog was actually self-inflicted. But either way, the Fire Lord has no chance now against a fully realized Avatar, even with a comet. Back in the Fire Nation, Azula takes on Katara now that Zuko's down, but obviously with the power of the comet, she's got the disadvantage. So, in an illustration of just how far Azula's fallen since descending into mad paranoia, Katara defeats her by outthinking her.
that wasn't such a chore now, was it?
In his fight, Aang has finally defeated the Fire Lord, but just before he's about to kill him, he stops himself and exits the Avatar state. Instead, he uses something that he learned from the Lion Eternal, energy bending. He uses that to take away his powers.
Completely normal phenomenon.
Thus we can draw things to a close. Zuko becomes Fire Lord, May gets back together with him, Ty Lee joins the Kyoshi warriors, since a girl who was worried about being part of a match set was no doubt attracted to a group who all dress and paint their faces to look the same. It means that the war is over and even Aang and Katara are together. Everything's all wrapped up.
Where is my mother?
Shut up! Everything is wrapped up! Okay, maybe there's a few bits that aren't. We're going to get back to that again later on. Yes, we're not done with Avatar. We're going to be continuing this again this fall.
Well, look at you, Buster. Now that your firebending's gone, I guess we should call you the Loser Lord.
I am the Phoenix King.